afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you present there. Myself, Joya Khan, Ambassador of Change from Getty, and your host for this live session. Holding the beacon of success, I bring greetings from the entire Getty fraternity as we usher in winds of change. I extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed speaker on this live forum of Detox for educators, and it's my pleasure to welcome her. She is Miss Aanchal Junjunwala, founder and master trainer, EduBeats Learning from Maharashtra. Miss Aanchal Junjunwala is a chartered accountant and a business entrepreneur. She is a global speaker, trainer, and author on wealthy minimalism. She helps people find their true purpose of life by using mindset techniques and daily life shifts. Her purpose as a speaker is to fill the gaps in the field of education. She does this with the help of mindset techniques on wealthy minimalism and personality development. She's from Thane and now travels to the country to deliver programs on wealthy minimalism and personality development. So, a very hearty welcome once again, Aanchal ma'am, and over to you. Her topic for the afternoon is how to become an entrepreneur and quit the rat race. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Joya, and very warm welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this live. Welcome, everyone. My name is Aanchal, and I am super excited to be here on the Getty platform. I heard in the introduction that everyone in Getty is all about change in the field of education. And I am super excited because educators are the pillars of change. They are the strong pillars when the kids enter the education system, when those little toddlers walk into the classroom for the first time. That's where the education begins, and it's up to us as educators to change the mindset. So Getty is doing a brilliant job at it, and I'm excited to share a little bit about how students can become entrepreneurs and quit the rat race. Before I begin sharing any of these insights, mindset techniques, and everything about wealthy minimalism, my question to all of you is, what is success? What is success for you? What is success that we are teaching our next generation? What is success we are teaching our students? What is success being measured when we go in the outside world? The sad truth is that success is measured only and only in terms of material success. A big house, fancy car, the latest iPhone, that's become our measures of success. But is that true that success, only material success, will give you peace and happiness? That's the question I want to put forward in front of all of you. Is material success a guarantee for peace and happiness? Most of you, I know, in your heads are thinking, well, it can bring joy. Yes, when you purchase something new, it is exciting. There's hormonal rush that you get inside of your body. But is it going to guarantee long term happiness and peace? Well, I have my own doubts. No, of course not. Material success will give you only temporary success, temporary happiness, and peace. But what will give us long term satisfaction and fulfillment is finding your purpose. And as educators, it is our responsibilities to help the next generation discover their true potential. And why I say this is because in my journey as a chartered accountant, when I was a CA student, when I was studying for chartered accountancy exams, and those of you who are aware of this exam know that it is one of the toughest exams in the country. When I was studying for this exam a few years ago, I put in a lot of effort, 12 hours, 15 hours, even 16 hours of daily studies. At the end, I succumbed to the pressure. I succumbed to the pressure of society. I felt that I will be a disgrace to my family if I don't succeed in the first attempt. That's how I felt while preparing for that CA examination. It got so worse that I had prepared for 9 months before going for my exam. And the day I went to the exam hall, I felt so nervous that I went blank. How many times does it happen that our students, people in our classrooms, and just professionals that we are connecting with complain of getting blank? Having all the answers in our head, but still not being able to say the right things at the right time. It happens to all of us all the time. So I was there miserable because I had put in a lot of effort for this exam and I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I couldn't run from that examination center. So I went to the exam hall, wrote my paper for 3 hours, did it for 8 days continuously, and waited for 2 months for my results to come out. I had expected this, and the results were four letters: FAIL, fail. Yes, I failed in my CA exams in the first attempt. And I took so much pressure in my head that one night after my failure, I found myself on the 16th floor balcony where I used to stay. It had no grill, it was an open balcony. I was looking down, wanting to jump. This happened for 5 times within a couple of months. And thank God I procrastinated on this. Sometimes procrastination can be good for you. And the result was that, yes, I thought this cannot be life. My life cannot be determined by this one exam. So I started looking for a mind shift. When my mental state became so poor, that's when the shift started happening. I realized that something is wrong with our entire system of success. There's something wrong with our definition of success. We are attaching our success just to marks, just to degrees, just to materialistic achievements. And that is creating mental health crisis, not just in my life, but globally. If you read the statistics, it says that 50% of people around the globe are going to experience some kind of mental health challenge at some point in their life. 50%. That's how huge the mental health crisis is. What can we do as educators to reverse this number? 50%. From 50%, can we bring it down to zero? Maybe it looks like a dream right now, but yes, as educators, it is on us. The responsibility is on us to drive this change. And how do we do that? I have found that wealthy minimalism is something that works brilliant in helping children, in helping new age professionals, in helping our next generation define success, which includes their financial security along with long term peace and happiness. And that's the reason why today's topic is how to become an entrepreneur and quit the rat race. Because more dreams are killed because of fear than because of failure. And that's exactly what wealthy minimalism is trying to change here. I have seen so many students who, when they come to class 10, class 12, or even after their graduation, when they come and look for advice from their teachers, from their peers, from their seniors, from professionals, most of us are giving advice where there is a clear cut path that is of job, there is of engineering, medical, even chartered accountancy. If they are taking up commerce, when they are taking for arts, they are going for some kind of honors. And we are just focusing on those career options that have a clear path chalk out in front of them. And if there is somebody who's thinking out of the box, who does not want to be in this race of becoming an engineer or a medical professional or an accountant, our society, even educators, are guilty of demeaning these people, demeaning these students, of looking down upon them. And that's exactly where we are contributing to mental health crisis. So how can this change? Let's look at something, why people, why educators, why professionals do not support students in their dreams of entrepreneurship, in a path that does not have a straightforward road. There are three reasons of being in this rat race, and this is these I hope you can see the points on my screen. The first point there is financial security. The second
Excuse me,
is fear
ma'am.
of,
Excuse me, ma'am. Could you please share your
yes.
PPT screen?
All right, okay, I thought
It's not
I
there.
had. No worries, thank you, Joyaji. All right, I hope you can now see it. Yes, I hope you can see it now.
Yeah, it is there.
All right, thank you so
Thank you,
much for
ma'am.
letting me know. So, the reasons why we are stuck in this rat race, most of us, most of the students, most of the professionals don't support people who are thinking out of the box, is because of financial security, fear of failure, and family pressure. Let's talk about the first one, financial security. Now, the reason financial security is huge because we have so many needs. We have so many needs. Yes, I'm just going to stop my share for a moment here so that you can see me again. The first one there was financial security, and it's a big one in today's time. Financial security. We have so many needs of having a big house, a fancy car, so many foreign trips, the latest iPhone, and thinking about all the big things in the world. And the reality is that the difference between needs and wants has reduced. We don't know the difference between needs and wants anymore. And that's exactly why a lot of people are now fearing. Let me share my screen again and let's talk about the second one here, and that is fear of failure. Because we have so many needs, we want a lot of money because we want to satisfy these huge needs and wants, which is why we are scared of failing, because we feel that if we are not able to satisfy these needs and wants, we will be considered unsuccessful. And that's the reason why we are scared to take risks. And that's the reason we are scared to become entrepreneurs. Because the reality is that entrepreneurs are risk takers. The higher the risk, the higher the returns. We've heard this. We've heard this phrase as a child, we've heard this as a teenager, as an adult, as a middle aged person, that the higher the risk, the higher the rewards. But when it comes to career options, when we as professionals, as educators, as teachers, as students want to take the path which is risky, we are scared of failure because our needs are too many. And we feel scared that we will not be able to satisfy our needs if we fail. The third and the big reason here is family pressure. Yes, it is Asian culture, and we are proud of it that we respect our parents, we respect our society. However, sometimes it can be detrimental to our progress, to our dreams, when it becomes pressure rather than giving confidence to our next generation. Now, why does the family feel pressured? Again, the reason why family is pressurizing us to take a very safe career option and not go for entrepreneurship, not take the risky option of entrepreneurship, it's because they are scared of your failure. They are scared that you will not be materialistically successful. Again, because they feel that there are so many needs to be satisfied. So, if you see that there is a pattern here, the pattern here is that we are all attached to a lot of materialistic wants and desires and needs. And that is our biggest cause why we are in this rat race. We don't want to take a risk. We don't want to risk being a failure. We don't want to have that capacity of becoming an entrepreneur. Only few people, only few percentage of people who are educated, who take entrepreneurship by choice, because they have mastered their needs. They have created detachments to that monthly paycheck. Every month, that 50,000, 80,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees paycheck, they've created that detachment, because as an entrepreneur, there is no guarantee that every month you will have that paycheck deposited in your bank. So the reality is that if if you know Bajirao Singham, okay, this is like a little Indian Bollywood reference here. So for my global educators, this is a Bollywood reference where here is a very powerful policeman. He's fearless policeman. He's a fearless policeman who is pressurized by the government, who is pressurized by the local goons, who is pressurized by the locals to quit. And he's pressurized, he's tortured. But he says that मेरी ज़रूरतें कम हैं, इसीलिए मेरे ज़मीर में दम है. What he means is that I am fearless because my needs are less. So, what will happen? If I, as a policeman, take action against these goons, what is going to happen? At the least, they are going to transfer me to a smaller place. I will go there, serve, do good for the people wherever I get transferred. I am fearless because my needs are less. And that's exactly that allows you to do bigger things. So, where do you start? How do you become an entrepreneur? How do you start this? So, the first thing that you need to do here is know your reason. Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? What's your reason to quit the rat race? Why don't you want to be in the rat race where you're getting monthly paychecks? So, my encouragement is for all the educators, allow your students, allow the next generation who is coming to you for advice, ask them the reason why they want to become an entrepreneur, why they want to quit the rat race. Get them to have their why clear. As Simon Sinek says, start with why. So that's the first step. The second step is have a clear path. How? After their why is clear, that's when we as educators need to support them on chalking out a plan. Of course, there are going to be risks, of course, there are going to be challenges, but we still help them create a contingency plan alongside the main plan. And the third is the timeline. Even for educators who are willing to quit the rat race, this is something that you can take away personally for yourself as well as for the next generation who comes to you for advice. When do you want to quit the rat race? When is the right time to quit the rat race? Is it today? Was it yesterday? Is it 10 years later? When is it? My encouragement to you is the last best time was yesterday. The best time was yesterday. The next best time is today. The next best time is today. So, if today any next generation is coming to you seeking for advice on entrepreneurship, this is how you can help them to kickstart their dream of entrepreneurship and quit the rat race. Ask them these questions. Ask them why is it that they want to become an entrepreneur? And most importantly, help them understand the difference between needs and wants. An entrepreneur can satisfy his needs with the limited amount of money that he will make at the start. And of course, as an entrepreneur, his progress or her progress is going to be unlimited. There is no limits to a global expansion. There is no limit to geographies when an entrepreneur wants to expand his business. It's just the first initial phase where you need to train the next generation as educators to detach from this materialistic success and connect to a bigger sense of purpose. I can say this with experience that entrepreneurship is very satisfying and fulfilling at the end of the day because I have done that for my own career. I'm a chartered accountant by my academics, but I do not practice as a chartered accountant. I am super proud of my degree as a chartered accountant because I know that this degree gives me the freedom to pursue my dreams. Any day I fail in my entrepreneurship, I have my alma mater, chartered accountancy, to go back to. So I have that fearless attitude when I look at my CA degree. But the reality about entrepreneurship is when I share my message, when I talk about wealthy minimalism to a global audience, and at the end of my talks, I get messages like, "Thank you so much for helping me connect with my real purpose. Thank you so much, Aanchal, for helping me realize that I can be much more than just a 9 to 5 employee. I can be much more. I can come closer to my dreams." When I get such messages from students and professionals all across the globe, it satisfies me, it fulfills me. I have seen entrepreneurs, I've had entrepreneur friends who've gone on to clear massive, massive, massive exams in India and abroad and have started something on their own, and they are completely fulfilled and satisfied with the kind of impact they're creating on their audience. A colleague of mine has just started an organic beauty products industry where she's helping women feel beautiful with natural and organic products. And when women come to her saying, "I feel awesome, I feel confident when I use my products," this entrepreneur friend of mine feels empowered, feels satisfied, feels fulfilled. And there are so many other examples of entrepreneurship which is fulfilling and satisfying. So that will be my encouragement to you as educators to help the next generation find their purpose. Now, the next point there is, what are the 7 pillars of wealthy minimalism? So, if there is somebody who is stuck in the rat race and is looking for a transition to quit the rat race and become an entrepreneur, here are 7 things that you can do as a part of wealthy minimalism in order to reduce your desires, in order to reduce your wants, so that you become fearless to pursue your dreams. The first thing there is physical decluttering. Now, physical decluttering is where you raid your house, you raid your office, you go to your space and start removing the clutter out. Now, this is a little unconventional advice. I understand this is not an MBA college advice that, oh, you want to become an entrepreneur, start a business idea, go to a mentor, etc., etc. No, I'm talking about the mindset. Everything else will come later on. The first thing that an entrepreneur has to develop is the right mindset. And that will come with wealthy minimalism. When you start clearing your lens, when you start decluttering your life, what is decluttering? Decluttering is basically removing the excess out of your life so that you can see clearly what is your purpose in life, so that you can see what is the real reason why you're so passionate towards something. So that's the thing wealthy minimalism will allow you to see. So the first point there, as I was saying, is physical decluttering. So let's start with removing the clutter out from your house, your wardrobes, your shelves, your drawers, your shoe racks, your accessories, your toiletries. Why do I say this? I say this, it's because successful entrepreneurs, and I will be giving you a couple of examples, okay? Successful entrepreneurs often are seen as minimalists. Let me give you a very big example, and that is the late Steve Jobs. If you look at any of videos or photos of Steve Jobs in the recent years, you would see that he would be found wearing a black t-shirt always found in a black t-shirt, or rather most of the time found in a black t-shirt. Why? Do you think Steve Jobs cannot afford a variety of fashionista clothes? Of course he could. But the reason he chose to have a minimalistic style statement was because he wanted to clear his lens. Even the design of the iPhone, why was the iPhone so popular? If you go back and see the designs of that time when the iPhone was first launched many years ago, you will see that the iPhone's design was very minimalistic, with a clean phone, with a clean slate, with just one button. That's it. That was the design of iPhone, and that became a very, very popular design for the mobile industry. Today, that design is seen in Tesla cars. The rich man's car Tesla is so minimalistic in its design, and it is a sense of class. The second example there is of Mark Zuckerberg, who is obviously Facebook, who is the man behind Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, the owner of Meta. So this guy is always seen wearing gray. Why? Can he not afford any other things? Of course he can. But he's chosen to be minimalistic because he knows that every morning he's not supposed to be deciding on what to wear, how to match my clothes, how to match my shoes, how to match my accessories. He knows that every morning he has to wake up and decide what to wear, how to match my clothes, how to match my accessories. So that is the reason why he chose to be minimalistic. The third thing there is that I want you to do is physical decluttering, so that you are not spending your precious time wasted managing this materialistic clutter. The second there is mental decluttering, a really big one. Your mindset can be your biggest friend or your biggest enemy. So, as an entrepreneur, it is very important that you're working on your mindset. You're working on becoming fearless in your mind. So, very important that you are getting rid of those fears. And of course, see, all these seven pillars of wealthy minimalism is a one whole day workshop in itself. But right now, what we are doing is we're just creating a foundation. We're just introducing the topic of wealthy minimalism. And of course, feel free to connect with me later on to get more in depth clarity on any of these points. But understand that mental strength can be your friend or enemy, what you make of it. So it's really important that you're free feeding your brain with the right amount of intellectual food that it needs. If you go and study the life of Bill Gates or even Elon Musk, they are avid readers. Yes, as entrepreneurs, they still read. They've been reading since their childhood, feeding their brain with the right amount of intellect, with the right kind of positivity, with the right kind of motivation. So that's the reason why what you're feeding your brain is very important as an entrepreneur. The third thing there is relationship decluttering. Now, what is relationship decluttering? The reality is that people affect us more than our finances do. People affect us most. If there is a friend who we have fought with, it will run in your head for days and months. If there is a family issue that is going on, it will impact your work. So it is crucial that you're working on distancing yourself from toxic people who are hindering your progress. So look out for those mentors, look out for those proximity, look out for those relationships that are pulling you up, that is supporting you in your dreams, in your ventures. That is relationship decluttering. And try to declutter those people who are constantly pulling you down. The fourth thing there is digital decluttering. Now, if you're watching this video, you are on social media. Yes. So, of course, when you're using social media, you know that again, social media, the digital platform can either be your friend or can be your biggest enemy. So, it is very important that you are creating a digital space that works the best for you. You're creating a digital space for yourself, which is free of clutter and full of motivation. So I share a lot of strategies. One of them is called the Super 30 model, where you're creating a list of 30 people that you follow on digital platforms who are constantly feeding your brain with positivity, with motivation, people who inspire you. So it is important that when you are spending time on digital media, when you're spending time on these digital platforms, and you're looking for inspiration as an entrepreneur, you are curating the list of entrepreneurs very, very carefully, choosing to get motivated by them on a regular basis. So declutter your digital spaces, remove the toxicity, remove the sadness out of your digital space. The fourth thing there is The fifth thing there is financial decluttering. Extremely important. As I said, that most of the people do not go for entrepreneurship, or they're stuck in the rat race, is because they are attached to that monthly paycheck, that every month I'm going to get a paycheck of 2 lakh rupees. So I'm not going to leave this rat race. I'm going to still be an employee. The reason why financial decluttering is important, and uh, it's important, is because we want to reduce our needs. When we reduce our needs, when we stop wasting our money, it will add to your financial freedom. When you stop wasting your money in these useless materialistic items that are not serving any purpose, you will go and invest that amount in stock markets. You will go and invest that amount in your business. You will go and invest that amount in real estate that will start generating income for you. So financial decluttering is where you're questioning yourself whether this money is going in the right place, whether I am spending my money smartly. So that is where financial decluttering will help you come closer to becoming fearless and becoming an entrepreneur. The sixth point there is body decluttering. You will be surprised what are the top 1% wealthy people discussing. The top 1% wealthy people are not discussing money, they are not discussing profits, they are discussing health, because they realize that if your body and your health is in control, you will be able to give your best shot as an entrepreneur. So very important that you are decluttering your body of all the toxins. The final one there is proximity decluttering. You must have heard that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. And it's true. Bill Gates spends time with Warren Buffett. He does not spend time with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. He spends time with Warren Buffett and the like. Why? Because his proximity defines who he is. So I encourage you as an educator to help the next generation question who are they spending time with. If their peer group is expecting high standards from them, that's the right proximity for our next generation. If their peer group is expecting low standard, there is a chance to change the proximity. So, yes, these were the 7 pillars of wealthy minimalism that bring you closer to becoming an entrepreneur and to quit the rat race with the help of detachment, with the help of reducing your needs, reducing your wants, and becoming fearless to become an entrepreneur. Thank you so much, everyone. I will now throw the floor open for any questions. If there are any questions, I would love to answer.
Thank you so much, Aanchal ma'am, for
Thank you.
that super engaging and super interesting session. I think you have opened the minds of young entrepreneurs in the making by talking about change of mind shift, and you have very truly discussed some very vital points in your session about entrepreneurship, like decluttering, the 7 pillars. I think I was listening very carefully to them, and each of the pillars that you defined so beautifully were, I think I noted most of them, to focus upon decluttering of the mind, physical decluttering, mental decluttering, relationship, digital, financial, body, proximity. I think each one goes a long way and has a big role to play in the shaping of a personality who aspires to be an entrepreneur. I think you'll agree with me. So, on the whole, this session was a very, very engaging session. And the questions that we would like to you to take up. Aanchal ma'am, are you there? Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think we lost the connect in between.
Yes, I think I'm back now. Yes.
Uh,
I could
so
hear
that
the summary. Yes.
you gave very good examples from your own life, and you did not hesitate once to say that you failed at an exam of CA. I think that was a very, very important example for the young minds out there who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs or to choose whichever field they want. And I think failures, you proved, are stepping stones to success. So, very motivating, very inspiring thoughts. You gave examples of great personality like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and so many others. And I think each of them has become one more thing that you added was that they all have become great personalities because they have been avid readers. So it is these points, that take our youngsters to a level which they have always been dreaming. They dream big. It is said, dream high and touch the sky. There'll be encumbrances all the way. But then if you have it, you can achieve it and you surely can fly. So that's it. A few questions if you would like to take up, ma'am. My first question to you is, Achal ma'am, are you there? Are you there, ma'am? Are you there? I think we have lost connectivity with Miss Aanchal. There's been a network issue.
Sorry, was there a question, Joa?
Ma'am, there's been a network issue all along, I think. Again, when I was putting up a question, your
I'm so
screen.
sorry. I can hear it now. I can hear it now. Can you repeat that? Could you?
Okay, okay. I couldn't even see you. I said, would
Okay.
you like to take a few questions? One or two
Yes, I
questions?
can. Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
please.
Uh, I would just like your take on, at the very outset, how would you spot young entrepreneurs in the making?
Wow, I love that question, Joya. I think it's upon the educators to put them in scenarios where their entrepreneurial skills can be put to test. The reality is that our education system has a very few opportunities where students get the opportunity to express their entrepreneurial skills. So for me, I will look for leaders at the outset. When I put them in a group activity, I look for people who take the lead. I look for people who know how to have everyone together. That single person in that group who's there, who'll get everybody along, who'll divide the roles, who would who will foresee everything that's happening in the group. That for me is an entrepreneur. I know that that student is an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much. My next question is, how do you hone and polish their skills? How do you help them develop their entrepreneur mindset?
Correct. So I think it has to start at a very early age. There was an article that I found very interesting, was where parents and teachers actually collaborated in helping children create their own material and toys, which they would go out in the marketplace and sell as very young children. They are in primary schools and they are doing this. So that's exactly what I think should be done, where students, teachers, and parents come together to create an environment where children create something on their own and we give them a platform. We allow them to fail, we guide them at the first step. So that's one way. The second way, of course, for those people who are already at a level who have already, who have reached their graduations in college, how do they polish their skills? Well, my encouragement to them is to start something as a side hustle. So there are a lot of professionals and young children who have already started working in the rat race, who have already started taking up an employment. My encouragement is start thinking of a side hustle. Start thinking of doing something on the side over the weekends. It could just be, creating a website and starting to sell something via a website, developing a mobile application, doing a freelancing project. So that's how a matured audience, somebody who is in the graduation level, can start thinking of doing that shift from being in the rat race to becoming an entrepreneur.
Great. What, according to you, is the right age to practice minimalism?
Oh, I love that. I think it's the first step is for parents to practice minimalism, for teachers and educators to start practicing minimalism. And once we, as the adults, start practicing it, children, right from when they start understanding, when they start looking at their surroundings, will start adopting minimalism. So, minimalism is for every age group. It's a large misconception about minimalism that it's only for old people, that, oh, now I've lived my life, now I should practice minimalism, now I should practice detachment when I'm so close to closing my life. But that's not true. The reality is that we as adults have a responsibility to teach the kids the importance of peace and happiness, to not define their success in materialistic gains, to help them understand that your success is not just in that big house, fancy car. Your success is in long term happiness and peace. So it is for every age group.
Thank you so much. And one last question. Don't you think that minimalism is going to lead to scarcity of mindset?
I love that, Joya. Thank you for asking this question. Well, there is a concept called as rich mindset and poor mindset. Now, what is poor mindset and what is rich mindset? It's got nothing to do with your bank balance. Nothing to do with your bank balance. A poor mindset is where you have scarcity, where you feel deprived, where you want to squeeze the lemon to its last drop. वो कहते हैं ना सब कुछ वसूल करना है, okay? That's the kind of mindset that you have, which is called a poor mindset. And that happens when you feel that what you own is not enough, and you want more and you want more, you want to accumulate more, the needs are never getting satisfied. That is what is called poor mindset. Minimalism, on the contrary, promotes a rich mindset because it allows you to feel abundant. It allows you to experience joy in every single thing that you own. It's funny that you have to be materialistic enough to be a minimalist. What I mean by that is you have to value every single thing that you own so much that you don't need excess of it. You don't need more of it. You value this, what you have, so much. You already feel so abundant in what you have. So it's a myth that minimalism will create scarcity. It will actually help you to feel abundant, and that will lead you to a rich mindset.
Thank you so much. I think we have benefited a lot and we've got some really constructive takeaways from this session today. And thank you, dear viewers, for being there with us. And I hope we all have got a deep insight into what minimalism is all about. And we are ready for a shift in our mindsets and absolutely moving ahead on the part of decluttering. Thank you so much, Aanchal ma'am. And have a good day, everybody. Stay blessed.
Thank you, Joya. Thank you, Getty, for inviting me. And everyone, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever you feel comfortable. I love sharing about wealthy minimalism. Thank you so much for having me. Bye bye.
Thank you.